Rookie Daniil But is tasked with the near impossible save Andre Tourigny's job.
You are Locked On Mammoth, your daily podcast on the Utah Mammoth, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Mammoth. I'm veteran NHL voice Tom Callahan, joined as always by longtime team analyst Robyn Leaño, and together we're the dynamic duo that brings you Locked On Mammoth each and every single weekday. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, you know what? We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. On today's show, roster moves for the Utah Mammoth, including calling up Daniil But. That's right, Danny Goals is on his way to the big club. There's also another move we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what I think these moves actually mean, not only for the team, but for the job of Andre Tourigny, head coach. These moves tell us something, Robyn, but let's start with Danny Goals coming up and the start he's been off to in Tucson. You have had your finger on this pulse for a while.
I have been wanting Danny Goals to be called up since, I want to say, his hat trick game in Tucson. I've been trying to pay attention to how he's been forming, and he's currently among, I believe, in the top 5, maybe top, if not top 10 of rookies for goal scoring in the American Hockey League, the entire American Hockey League this season so far. I think that's already been saying enough, and I feel like I've been wanting him to get called up. I feel like he's deserved his cup of coffee, Tom, and I feel like now it comes at an extremely crucial time. I know we're going to get to that in a little bit, but I'm just so glad to finally hear the words Daniil But has been recalled from the Tucson Roadrunners.
Yes, we are all looking forward to that. By the way, today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL bets live all season long. So as we take a look at what But has done with the Tucson Roadrunners here, first of all, let's talk about his stats. 6'6", 232 pounds, a right shot forward. I'll tell you what, since coming over and jumping into playing in North America this year, 19 games at Tucson, 8 goals, 9 assists, 17 points. He's almost a point-a-game guy. Not a lot of PIMs. He's got 8 minutes and penalties, 1 game winner, 3 power play goals. He's shooting at a 15.7% success rate, which is good. Might seem a little high, but is good. Robyn, I look at what he's done, and even if you just take a look at his game by game, he's been on the sheet in a lot of games. You know, he doesn't go a long time without putting up a point. And he mixes his efforts across both goals and assists. I feel like he's going to be a guy you can mix into this lineup and have him do a lot of things. You can ask him to shoot. You can ask him to distribute. But most importantly, they're going to ask him to try to pick this team up. So no small task for a rookie coming up. I mean, this is a pretty heavy weight for this kid, but he is going on to a heavyweight line.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be joining the Dylan Guenther and Logan Cooley line, which I can't wait to see. And I think that will work out, too. I think especially when you're bringing in someone who's got a physical prowess, because that's what But does, right? He's also a bigger physical guy. That's what he's supposed to do. But one thing I also want to point out, Tom, really quick too, is something that I think could be very important to the conversation, is Daniil But also has 3 power play goals, 5 power play points, right? Power play, we've talked about across this entire team. That could very well be a good sign, maybe, based off where he is on those 17 points. 5 of those are on the power play.
Robyn, as a rookie, do you plug him in right away to the power play unit? I mean, at
this point, the power play is so god awful. You will try anything.
Okay, that's fair. I was going to defend the other way around and say I don't know if I disturbed the power play, or not so much that I disturbed the power play. I would love to throw the power play in a blender, but to be able to put him in there 5-on-5 and then also put him on the power play. I am in favor of coaches when they call up a player, don't call up a guy who's a first line guy and try to put him in a fourth line role. I hate to see that. So I'm glad they're putting him on a top six spot. Right. So I appreciate that right out of the gate. And you know what? After your very brief but very concise statement, yeah, maybe I do. I might even put him on PP1, if not PP2. I mean, like I said, I would throw the whole thing in a blender at this point because it's done nothing.
You're right. It hasn't. And I feel like this could be a move that could help shake things up. You and I have talked a couple weeks ago about what kind of shakeup would really be necessary to help turn the ship. And again, at the time, this again, mind you, Tom, this was a couple weeks ago. I said, call up Daniil But. Do it. Do it now. And I feel like the everydayers know it because when it happened, my notifications kind of went off. both to my personal and to the Locked On Mammoth show account on Twitter. They were like, they did the two wide eyes look when it was announced and said at Locked On Mammoth, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that we're known for the ones that have been calling for him that got called up.
And I like that Boot's going to come up and be given the opportunity. But Robyn, they made another move as well, and that was sending Simishev down to Tucson.
As well as placing Kevin Rooney on waivers to get him sent back down as well.
Right, and I love seeing Rooney score coming up and chipping in that one game, and he should clear. That said, you never know.
Yeah,
but Robyn, I've been advocating for a couple of weeks that I think Simishev probably would have been better off than sitting at the NHL level, where clearly I think he had a hot start, but now he's just not. He's not quite there yet. He needs time in the American League, top minutes in the American League.
Spend some quality time with Steve Potvin and John Slaney. Those are some fine development coaches down there in Tucson.
And you know what? I mean, honestly, I don't think there's a reason to bring him back up this year. They have pretty good defensive depth. And you know what actually made this move possible is the play of Nick DeSimone.
Yeah. DeSimone's he has been a bright spot on the blue line, which is saying a lot based off where the blue line has been.
The blue line hasn't been great lately. The other thing that now, I'll be honest with you, Robyn, at the beginning of the season, I gave this not even a passing thought to the return of Juuso Välimäki. But guess what?
I forgot about him almost.
Yeah, but guess what? Now all of a sudden, his return might actually be super important.
If he can actually turn it around too.
That's what I mean. If he can come in and actually play well, look, I'm going to be candid with all of you Utah defensemen. Everybody's job is up for grabs right now.
Yep.
No one has shown me that they deserve a spot in the lineup every single night.
I feel like outside of Sergachev too, based off the comments, Marino's been getting a lot of heat from our everydayers.
None of them have looked good though, Robyn. None of them
have. No,
like Schmitz look bad, Coles look bad, Durzi's look bad.
Durzy, according to those hockey stat cards, had an F grade alongside Sergachev. I think they both had like a -6 or something like that. It was just god awful. There was just so many others, you're right. I think at this point, if Välimäki can come back in it, I would even say he doesn't even need to blow our, to blow anyone's minds. He just needs to play some sound hockey, and he's already better.
Just take care of your own end, please. Take care of your own end. That's all I'm asking for at this point. By the way, Robyn, before we talk more about the defense, I want to mention a couple of things. One, we noticed that a lot of you who interact with the show, you aren't actually subscribed to the show. So please take a moment and subscribe. If you're here, if you're commenting, number one, thank you. We appreciate all you everydayers. But if you're not subscribed, please subscribe on YouTube or where you get your audio podcast. Robyn, the number two thing I want to say is I love the people who come in And they probably do listen to the first segment of the show, but they don't stay for the whole show. And we cordially invite you to stay for the whole show because a few of the comments have been pointed towards, well, you blame this, but not that. And it's like, oh, well, that was segment 2. So there are 3 segments to every show. So we invite you to stay. We cordially invite you to stay for all 3 segments
Stick
of our
around.
show.
We have a whole conversation going.
Yeah, we really do. So I do want to talk more about the defense, Simishev going down, But coming up. But most importantly, what these moves actually mean. Today's show brought to you in part by Drip Drop. You guys know I love Drip Drop because when I'm hydrated, I feel like everything just works better. I feel better focus, my energy, my mood, even my skin looks better, feels better. That's why I've been using Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what my day looks like. Drip Drop is not your average sports drink, okay? It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of the leading brands. Or if you're like me, you can go with the sugar-free version. It's a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. And now people in the Locked On Network, the #1 sports podcast network, as you well know. I replaced my first cup of coffee in the morning with Drip Drop. And I actually, it's kind of crazy, but I really do feel better. I still drink my coffee. Don't worry. I still get my, crazy amount of cups in. That's what I do. But I've started to use this first. And I think it makes a difference. I feel it makes a difference. So try it. Hydration's become non-negotiable for me. Drip Drop helps me feel sharper, calmer, and honestly, just better overall. So right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use our promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That's dripdrop.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. I'm telling you, just try it. Try it for 1 order. You'll be convinced. Stock up now before the heat hits you hard. Keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. There are other reasons around the holidays to be hydrated, by the way. I'm just saying. Okay. Thanks for joining us on Locked On Mammoth. Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño. And, we thank you for making us your first listen each and every single day. When it comes to the Utah Mammoth hockey team, we're here 5 days a week. And sometimes on weekends, if we really, really need to be. Believe me, Robyn and I are both on high alert right now. Just waiting for the other skate to drop in a lot of ways. Robyn, it started. Okay. There's no trade that's been made. There's no removal of a coach that's been made, but there has been roster movement with Simishev going down, which it's about time. Daniil But coming up. And in your opinion, that is absolutely about time. But you know what this tells me? It tells me that Andre Tourigny has more time. It tells me that he is going to finish this road trip, that there is no onus on him to do anything but figure out if But can come up and get the offense going and maybe kickstart this power play. And they're going to be super patient, is the polite way to put it, with everything going on. I would not be this patient personally, but I think these 2 moves tell me that they are, number 1, going to send Simishev back for the development. Number 2, they're going to bring up But and hope he is the break glass in case of emergency goal scorer. They're going to try to still get a 2-2 mark out of this road trip, and they still think Tourney is their coach. There's no way he's gone before the end of the week. I'd be shocked at this point. You don't call a guy up now if you're going to replace the coach.
Especially calling up a guy like Daniil But.
Right.
If it was anybody else, right? I'd figure it's like, okay, maybe they're just doing a last-ditch effort to kind of figure it out. I mean, I would still consider it a last-ditch effort, but they have a runway. There's a runway there's a visible runway. However, Tom, I still have that belief that the leash is short, but I feel like it just shortens up exceptionally if Utah gets embarrassed again on national television. They play the Ducks tonight on national television. So we need this, if they play it as just as bad. I mean, yes, San Jose and Anaheim are different teams. They're both hot, right? They're both among hot teams in the Western Conference right now. But different teams, if you still get that level of embarrassed at this point, I don't know what can save you.
Robin, I actually disagree with you.
Really?
I do. Short of them losing 9-0 to Anaheim, is that kind of embarrassment you're not coming back from. But short of that, I don't think tonight's game matters anymore. It doesn't matter in the team record. Sure, it does. Counts for 2 points in the standings. It absolutely matters. But if they lose with effort, we're going to see it as a bright spot. If they win, we're going to say, well, yeah, okay, look, hey, we got it fixed. And if they lose, they're going to say, well, we're making some lineup changes. I don't think tonight's game matters. I honestly don't. Am I going to watch it like a hawk? Oh, absolutely.
We all are.
Absolutely.
We all are.
But I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters internally to the only person it really matters to is Andre Tourigny. And I don't mean the team doesn't care. Like, let's not get carried away here, people. This is not what I'm saying. But as far as the internal pressure, what's going on in that front office, I don't think the Anaheim game matters right now because they're going to give him at least 3 games to figure out new lineup combos and get it going now. They have an excuse. They've given him more time.
They have that, and then they have Vancouver and Calgary, and we'll have to see from there.
They should beat Vancouver and Calgary.
They
now,
should.
Look,
the huge quotes around should.
If we get to the end of this road trip 0-4, then there will be no more leash to me. But they could get to the end of this road trip 3-1 and feel like they solved everything. And look, if you win 3 in a row, it'll feel good. It'll look good. Does it solve the underlying problems? No very short 3-game win streak solves underlying problems, especially when it's against bottom-dwelling teams. It will artificially inflate a lot of things, right? The rising tide raises all boats. I get that. Can you carry the momentum past that? But honestly, I kind of think for the rest of the week, it just doesn't matter. We're not going to see any more changes. Whatever they do, they do. Unless they go 0-4. I think that's where we're at. At least that's what it feels like. And you know why I don't know? You know why you don't know? You know why none of us know? Because GM Bill Armstrong has gone radio silent. So
he was on KSL the other day, but he was mostly talking about
flagship station's not going to ask anything but softballs. I used to work for one. I know how it works. When you get a coach or a GM on, you're just lobbing them up there. Here, hit this. No, they're not going to ask any tough questions.
I mean, I know. I worked for a flagship for a college before, so I understand that.
Yeah. So I will say there is one other outlet in town that has finally at least broached the question. So good on you, Deseret News, because they have finally at least put it out there.
Yep.
And Robin, here's the thing. And folks have kind of commented on this too. I want to see this team win. I want to see this team do well. This is my job. Okay. This is one of my jobs. This is what I do is cover the Utah Mammoth. You know what's a lot easier to do? Cover a winning team.
It sure
because everybody's happier. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody just feels good about what's going on.
Although, Tom, you know, what's interesting is you say that, but now that I think of it, in my 5 years here at the Locked On Network, I've never covered an actual winning team.
I mean, I've been a part of winners and losers throughout my career in sports. You know, I've been on teams that have almost won it. I've been on a team that has indeed won it all. And I've been a part of teams that haven't made the playoffs and have self-destructed in the middle of the season and have become victim to locker room problems. I've seen it all. So I try to put that expertise to use here by hearing what isn't actually said and reading between the lines. That's what I try to bring everybody here. And that's what concerns me about this Mammoth team right now. There's a lot of unspoken stuff that it's not about playing the blame game, but it is about assigning a value to a player's performance and then whether or not that value adds to the team as a whole. And I feel like right now, there's not a lot of value in that Mammoth lineup. All right. Let's talk. You know what? Let's talk about Anaheim. Let's do that because they are playing a game tonight. So we'll do that next.
And today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, as a receiver gets hot, the defense tightens up, or momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into that kind of moment with live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly, player props that update as guys heat up. You can bet on next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. I know this because I use FanDuel quite often, and I will use it when I know my 49ers, by the way, are going on a hot streak and going and doing whatever as they're trying to push for a playoff run. So if you want to get right in the middle of the action, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño here, locked on Mammoth. Hey, don't forget our Everydayer Club drops on December 8th, and we love you, Everydayers. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Well, now for just $5 a month or $50 a year, so you can save $10 off the per month fee, you get an ad-free podcast feed compatible with all major podcast apps, access to a members-only Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server with our own team channel, and Robyn and I will be there, exclusive access to the daily Locked On Sports Today podcast, exclusive season previews, draft previews, fantasy previews, a merch discount, and a whole lot more. For the price of a cup of coffee, you get extra Locked On Mammoth, and what could be better than that? So, Robyn, I'm going to take this opportunity to right now tell you that I'm actually leaving the show. I'm leaving Locked On Mammoth because the Anaheim Ducks need a goalie. So I'm going to go play goal for Anaheim. I'll probably be backing up tonight. I won't be starting. I think that's going to be Ville Husso, who's probably starting. But, I mean, they have a choice to make. It's either me or Vyacheslav Buteyts in net. So I don't know who they're going to pick. But my gear's packed. Can you believe that? The Ducks have lost their first two starting goaltenders. Lucas Dostal's out, which stinks because he's one of the best young goalies in the game. And then Peter Mrazek got hurt on Sunday against Chicago. And I like Ville Husso. I have always liked him. I thought he's a very capable goaltender. I'm not too stressed for the Ducks, but I do find it interesting that they're this deep into their goaltending right now.
I mean, remember we had the conversation asking whether or not you were going to be the full-time Utah Mammoth e-bug.
That's right. That's right. I actually, my
it's your tryout.
Yeah,
it's your tryout.
Well, exactly. Right. If I can win a game for the Ducks, ready for this crazy statement? The Ducks are trying to hold on to the Pacific Division lead. Isn't that wild?
This team has been like both the Ducks and the Sharks. Where did they come from?
I mean, the Ducks, look, coach
makes a difference.
Coach makes a big difference, Robyn.
It does make a difference.
Coach makes a big difference.
No matter what your personal feelings is about Joel Quenneville and the history that he has, like, you got to admit that makes a difference. It shows that his presence makes a difference versus any of the previous coaches that the Anaheim Ducks have had. That it says, okay, this is a talent. This is a group that has a lot of talent. They just can't do anything with it. Sound familiar? And then all of a sudden they bring in a veteran coach who actually understands how to win. And they're winning. Wow. Go figure, Tom.
Yeah. So I guess I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to leave it right there in the comment lobby. You guys attack it with your knives and forks if you want. But the point is Anaheim is good. Anaheim is young. Anaheim is fast. Anaheim has a lot of things going for them. They shoot the puck, score a lot of goals. They swarm you. Their penalty kill
has been something else.
He really has. He's still my favorite draft reaction of all time. Like, he instantly endeared himself to me by being genuinely shocked when he was drafted.
I mean, Mammoth fans and Arizona fans will forever remember the Maverick Lamoureux parents draft reaction. But that's
that
That was something.
It's almost as good as when Connor McDavid. Now, this is going back, 10, however many years. When Connor McDavid found out that Edmonton won the lottery, the look on his face, he was actually not very happy. He was actually prepared to go to Buffalo. He's like, all right, I'm going to Buffalo, going to be a Sabre. And then he found out he was going to Edmonton, and the look on his face is like, it probably did work out better for you, though, Connor. I hate to say that as a Buffalo native, but it probably worked out better for you. But Robyn, so the Ducks are going to be a hard team to turn it around for the Mammoth.
Oh, yeah.
They are going to be,
and this is the right. If you want a rivalry game.
It is. It is a rivalry. Our fans have told us that.
These guys hate each other. And you know what? I love it. And I feel like and I think that's where it makes this game a perfect opportunity to try to right this ship, no matter what you can. Because even though the Ducks are the top of the Pacific Division and the Mammoth are in free fall, because this is a rivalry game, this gives the Mammoth motivation, or it should give the Mammoth motivation to really show that they're going to play with effort, that we're not going to see a listless game, that we actually are going to see them give it their all.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, that's what we're going to see, right?
That's what we better see. I mean, do we have a choice? Because honestly, we've called out the effort. And look, if you don't believe what we're saying, look at the body language. Just ignore whatever's being said on the TV and look at the guys who are out on the ice. Look at the guys on the bench, and you tell me what you see. Just look at it for yourself. Tell me what you see.
I don't know. You get the speed. You can tell when they feel defeated because they slow down.
It does. You get the third period that you had against the Sharks. That's what you get. Both teams knew that game was over, as did the league and ESPN, as they sent out their notification after 2 periods. I still think that's funny. But you're right, Robyn. That was telltale. Both teams knew that game was over. Utah was not trying to fight to come back in that game. Here's the other thing. That bothers me. Mm-hmm. I know there are games in a season when you know you're beaten, but what I hate is when you don't try. That's what bugs me.
There is that thing where you just play for pride at that moment. You just play for pride.
Yep.
If you know you're not the game is at loss, is all about loss at that point, but you still play for pride.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But this game, I feel like, Tom, with Daniil But in the lineup, I feel like it could certainly be that good shakeup. I'm super excited to finally see him, suit up for an NHL game. I feel like it could make a difference. He's a goal scorer. We call him Danny Goals for a reason, right?
Yep.
And it's not just because But is French for goals.
Yes.
But it just makes things that just much better that it is.
Yes, he's Russian. Yes, But is French for goals. Yes, we're mixing metaphors, and that's just fine. That's what we do here. So at the end of the day, Robyn, I mean, if I'm summarizing, I think Simishev is where he belongs, and I want to see him top pair minutes in Tucson. I'm very excited to see what Daniil But is going to bring to this team. I can't wait. I hope he goes out there and just kills it. And Anaheim is a tough test, but I mean, they should, if they're a playoff team, they should go 2-1 over this remaining stretch. So I think they come out of this trip 2-2. That's where they should be. We'll see. So, all right, Robyn, anything you wanna drop in there before we get to telling people where to find us besides the comments on YouTube? By the way, hit that like button if you haven't already, and tell your friends about the show. But anything else you want to cover?
Yeah, one last thing I do want to bring in, just to kind of get people thinking, is the odds for tonight's game.
Oh, yeah.
So
let's take a look.
We have Utah Mammoth or 1.5 underdogs going into this game at -265 on that point spread. The money line -110 for the Utah Mammoth, -110 for the Anaheim Ducks, and 6.5 is your total.
Really? That's weird to me.
It is weird.
It must be the third string goalie effect, right?
At this point, probably.
That's got to be what it is. There's no way Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That I guess that's the only way I can explain it is they look at the Ducks roster missing their top 2 goaltenders and think, well, except for the fact that Ville Husso used to be the starting goalie for St. Louis, and he's been around the league a little bit. Yes, he's bounced around. I mean, he had a stretch in Detroit too, but he's capable. The guy's an NHL level goalie. It's not like they're starting some guy up from the East Coast League. So I personally remember Ville Husso. Let me tell you why he sticks in my head so much. Here, Robin, set your Wayback Machine for 2016. Ville Husso was a member of the San Antonio Rampage. And when the Tucson Roadrunners would go to face the San Antonio Rampage, he was lights out against us.
And I remember
that whole season, he destroyed the Roadrunners. We couldn't score on him.
And I remember that too, because I was part of the media corps, and we would talk amongst ourselves. And every time the Rampage came to town, and we saw Ville Husso, so we're like, "Up, here we go."
Yep, he just owned the Roadrunners. He absolutely owned them. And I mean, I'm like, this kid can't miss. If he plays like this here, how can he not play like this in the NHL? And he hasn't. He's been inconsistent, but he's got it in him. So, and he seems to like playing against the Arizona/Utah franchise. So, or roster, I guess. Not really.
There'll be some memories there. So, like, not only is there that connection, but it's also, I feel like a huge reason why the rivalry is what it is, Tom, by the way, is in my last thought, is a lot of these guys on the Utah Mammoth came up from the Tucson Roadrunners. A lot of the guys on the Anaheim Ducks came up from the San Diego Gulls. They actually built a rivalry cup between these two teams, the San Diego Gulls and Tucson Roadrunners, called the I-8 Border Cup, because they played each other so many times and because the rivalry between those two teams is just so intense.
Yeah, I mean, except for the technicality that I-8 doesn't quite make it to Tucson. You have to go down I-10 to get to I-8. But yes. Just saying.
Yeah, I understand. Like, I knew what they were going for when they announced the I-8.
But no, we did. The first year we played them, I think we played the Gulls the most, and then the second year we played them either the most or the second most out of any team in the West.
And it came down to the final game where it was Tucson and San Diego, where whoever won that series was going into the playoffs.
Yep. There's some memories in there. Absolutely. There's definitely some memories as the Roadrunners hit year 10. I was there in the beginning. So
that's wild. That's crazy to think it's been that long.
I know it has. So, all right, Robin, folks want to reach out to us on the socials and comment somewhere that's not YouTube. Where can they do that?
They can find us everywhere on social media, primarily active over on Twitter. You can find us primarily there at Locked On Mammoth, at Locked On Mammoth. You can find me personally, Robyn _Leaño. It's Robyn with a Y _Leano.
And you can find me over on Blue Sky at Tom Talks. You can find me on Twitter at Callahan on Air. And you know what? We look forward to them. We really do thank you guys because you've been tremendous. You've been interactive. We love the opinions. Keep them coming. And don't ever let anybody tell you your opinion's wrong. Your opinion's your opinion, right? Just be able to back it up. That's all. So just share what you want to share. Think what you want to think. And that's what we're all about. That's what the Discord server is going to be chock full of. So if you join the Everyday Air Club, it's going to be a lot of fun.
If the Discord server is anything like what we're seeing in our YouTube comments, it's going to be some fun.
Yeah, it'll be fire. It'll be a good time. So, all right, everybody. Well, let's see what happens against the Ducks tonight. For Robyn, I'm Tom. Thanks as always for being a part of Locked On Mammoth.